we've looked at defending Jujigatame, now let's look at defending the triangle, Senkaku. By far and away, the most common form of triangle employed in the sport of jiu-jitsu is the front triangle, Omote Senkaku. So we'll spend our time looking to defend that, since it's probably responsible for 90 to 95% of all the triangles used out there. Let's understand some of the core principles of triangles. Remember, always our principle of reverse engineering. The more we understand about what the other fellow needs to finish us with the submission hold that he's employing, the easier it will become for us to deny him each one of those steps. And as a result, we'll have a much better chance of getting out. Okay, let's understand right from the start that the overwhelming majority of triangles employ a step-by-step procedure where they go from what we call a trap triangle into a figure-4 triangle. Okay, it's very, very rare that someone just lands in a flush figure-4 triangle that just immediately starts strangling you. It can happen, but it's relatively rare. In the overwhelming majority of cases, what happens with triangles is there's a transition from some form of guard position, which creates a situation where my opponent's legs at the feet lock behind my head and shoulders, just like so. Okay, this is what we call a trap triangle. This will not strangle you. It's dangerous, not because of itself, but what it can turn into. Okay, so this is not by itself dangerous, but it can turn into things that are extremely dangerous. The first thing and the most obvious thing that it can turn into is a figure-4 triangle. What we have right now, as you can tell by my voice, will not strangle me. But my opponent can begin a process of tightening, breaking my posture, creating an angle, and then from here convert into a figure-4. The figure-4 will strangle me. A second thing he can do from a trap triangle is convert into Jujigatame. It will be a 3/4 version of the Jujigatame. Very threatening, okay? Because we've already spent quite a bit of time defending Juji, we won't focus on that. We'll focus on the figure-4 triangle. From any situation where I feel the trap triangle has been put on, I must already be thinking in terms of escape. Now, here's an obvious principle. It's much easier to escape the trap triangle than it is to escape the figure-4 for two reasons. First, it's inherently looser. And second, you're not actually in a stranglehold yet. So there's no time limit here. When you're actually in a strangle, you've got 4 to 8 seconds to do something. And if it's not done in that time frame, you're either going to pass out or you're going to tap. So we want to begin our escapes when someone puts us into the trap triangle. Okay, we should already be thinking in terms of escape. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off just like so. My training partner is going to get to the trap triangle. The second I feel I'm in the trap triangle, first escape from these kinds of situations. Okay, I want to come up and posture away. I can't be naive and leave my hand center chest. Now I can easily transition into Jujigatame. Okay, I want my hand in here where it's relatively safe to the Juji transfer. If I see him trying to drag my hand center chest, I won't tolerate that. As he comes in, we're just going to lock. We're going to put a hand here and just peel it. Okay, so he doesn't really get the opportunity. If I feel he's dragging, I'll turn my thumb down and slip. Okay, I'll never tolerate him dragging my hand to center chest. And it's an easy transition to the armbar. So once again, from a situation where we're in closed guard, he makes a transition into trap triangle. First things first, don't have an extended arm center chest. That's giving him 2 options instead of 1. Place the hand back. If he goes to take it away, peel a hand. Now if he goes to peel with the second hand, thumb down, peel back, hand goes short. Okay? From here, first option, move your head this way. When someone has a trap triangle, look what has to happen for them to make the transition to a full triangle. Watch his left knee. The left knee has to come forward. So when I'm here, like so, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a reach back. We're going to take my arm beyond his knee. He goes to convert, there's no conversion, okay? And as a result, we can posture up in a way where there's no significant follow-up. If my elbow is in front of his knee, there's a very significant conversion into either triangle or armbar, okay? So as we come in this position and I feel my opponent's got the trap triangle, first things first, I won't give him center chest. Deny center chest. Hand here, posture up. If he drags it, I'll peel hands. I'll come out. Now, he wants the knee in front. I want my elbow behind his knee. He goes to bring me in. Very difficult. He goes to convert. No way. Hands come in and return. He'll never be able to convert without giving you what you wanted. Okay? So he goes in, gets the grip. He wants center chest. Deny it. Bring it in. Peel one. Pull. Thumb down. Back. Hands in center. He wants to convert. He wants his knee bringing my elbow forward. So I take my elbow behind. Thumb goes in. Okay. He goes to convert. Impossible to work with. Okay. Any movement on his part, my hands come in. Okay. So that's our first one with regards preventing him from converting from the non-dangerous trap triangle. When I say non-dangerous, it's not stringiness, it's not arm lockiness, but the potentially dangerous trap triangle. We want to prevent him converting from a trap triangle to a figure four. The trap triangle is potentially dangerous. The figure four triangle is actually dangerous. Okay, so stopping that transition from trap triangle to figure four is a huge part of learning to defend the triangle. Please understand, guys, that literally 95 to 98% of triangles in competition and sparring involve first a trap triangle and then a period of time where someone transitions to the figure four triangle. It's the figure four triangle that will kill you. The trap triangle is a means to an end. If you can stop the transition from trap to figure four, the danger is past. It's much easier to stop at the level of the trap triangle than it is at the figure four. When you're in the figure four, dude, it gets tough in there at the World Championship level. It gets very tough very quickly, okay? So be aware of this trap triangle to figure four triangle transition. Understand that's the key to defending triangles at World Championship level. Okay, now let's go further into this. Okay, some more ways to monitor and deal with this transition. So Placido goes in, he goes into trap triangle. Another excellent method. Remember, what our opponent wants to do is to bring the hand center chest and the elbow to the center line. The more he can bring the elbow to the center line, the easier the transition to figure four or armbar. Okay, so I want my elbow staying as far away from the center line as possible. Okay, that's why we bring the hand short so we can't switch to arm bars, and we keep the elbow here away from the center line. The more the elbow comes up and forward to the center line, the easier it is for him to start finishing us. Okay, second way to prevent this is to take my hand here, low to the lat muscle, and join my elbow and knee. Okay, when my training partner goes to make the transition, very, very difficult. It forms a wedge of knee and elbow, okay? He goes to finish me now, difficult, okay? It's a tough thing for him to transition from trap triangle into the figure four. Go to make your transition, Placido. It's challenging. It's tough, okay? It slows things down. The more he goes to make that transition, the more my hands can come through and we can lock our hands in the center, okay? Now from here, I push. If I can't break it, he's got strong legs and he's longer than me, then I'll just pommel my hand inside. And now we're getting away, okay? Please understand that every trap triangle has a problem with circumference. A trap triangle, just cross your feet in front of me. Move away, obviously. If someone crosses their feet, the circumference of their legs is quite wide. When they figure four, the circumference diminishes radically. You go from a very big circle to a very small circle. That's why the figure 4 can strangle you, because the circumference between the area between your knees radically diminishes. When it's crossed feet, it radically increases. Okay, so when we're in a trapped triangle, there's going to be a lot more space to bring a second hand in. There's going to be a lot more space to bring the primary hand out. Okay, so when we have an opponent who puts us in here, initially, I may well put that blocking wedge in place. He goes to make the transition. It's quite difficult. Okay, and from here, the hand feeds in. Okay, he goes to lock up and make a transition to finish. Hand goes inside, and up and away we go. Okay. Second response to trap triangle is posture. My opponent locks up. From here, we can go vertical on a training partner. Okay. Different ways for us to come up in vertical. I can do it on my knees, just like so, or I can come up into a standing position. From standing position, we go up and away from our man like so. So you can use a postural escape out of trap triangles. So once again, we go up and away from the man. Okay, difficult for him to follow us with that trap triangle in place. We've seen earlier the idea of coming back. We've seen earlier the idea of going inside or inside like so. Okay, you can also just literally just come up. You can come up into standing position. Okay, lock. Now from here, just walk up and away we go. Okay, these work well even against people bigger and heavier than yourself. Now, as he locks up, whenever someone has this kind of trap triangle situation, another way to prevent the elbow going into the center line is to go through and around our training partner's hips, just like so. This is not my favorite. Okay, but there is a place for it. Another way to do it is to, as it were, go beyond the center line all the way across to the other side. Okay, rather than just putting my arm in here as a blocker, where my opponent can make a switch into other forms of triangle, which omoplata or other things, what we can do is go all the way across to the other side, just like so. Now, when Placido goes to switch to another form of triangle, it's quite difficult. Okay, if he tries to transition to my back, it's not that easy. You're in a position where you can easily pull away. So I generally find it's a little safer to go far side than near side. When we go near side, he can switch off into other forms of triangle. It can cause just as many problems for us as the original front triangle. So my general preference, when someone locks a triangle here, instead of hiding the arm on this side, we cut across here to the opposite side, and we focus on getting his knee down to the floor. I take two hands around his knee. As he tries to make a transition to a figure 4, very, very difficult. Now from here, it's easy for us to drive forward and separate our training partner's legs. Now it looks like your back is exposed to your opponent, but the more he tries to come up and take advantage of that, the more he's going to expose his legs to us. And we're going to get many opportunities to go through and into our own finishes. So once again, from a situation where my opponent locks me, instead of going the popular near side, which exposes us to other forms of triangle, other forms of leg lock, etc., we're going to bring our elbow further than he wanted, all the way across the center line. And I'm going to put his knee down on the mat and put my two hands here around it. Now from here, we start the pressure on our training partner that separates his legs. If he separates his legs to take our back, you'll get the same effect. My knee passes over the top and I turn around the corner. From here, what does he want? Turn away, right? You guessed it, center chest. He goes to turn out, slows him down. Okay, from here, sitting up and find ourselves right back in our favorite attacking positions. So those are some excellent ways to delay and make troublesome the transition, the essential transition from the trap triangle to the figure four. It's time for us to go into what I believe is the single most effective escape to triangles. If I could only have one escape to triangles for the rest of my life, I would choose this one. So it goes with the principles we looked at in the previous section, but it's such an important manifestation of those principles that I put it separately so that you can understand its importance. Okay, the general philosophy that we're trying to push on you guys is that there are two triangles. There is a trap triangle, which usually begins the sequence, and there is a figure four triangle that actually finishes you. The trap triangle is not dangerous in itself, but it is dangerous insofar as it leads on to either figure four triangles or arm bars. So it's a potential. The others are an actuality. Your job is to try and escape from the trap triangle, because the trap triangle is inherently looser. The circumference of the legs is inherently bigger, creating looseness, which makes escape much more easy. It also means that because there's no actual strangle in a trap triangle, you can focus on the escape instead of getting terrified by the fact you're being strangled as you try to escape. Now, all the escapes that we looked at so far to a trap triangle are good, and they work well up to a certain level. But I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, dude, there's this one guy in the gym who's like 6'4" with legs that go all the way up to his shoulders. And when this guy locks a triangle on me, all these things you talk about posturing or putting your elbow here or doing this, they just don't work on these guys, okay? I deal with this all the time because you'll get an athlete like Gordon Ryan, for example, who has very long, powerful legs. And this kid locks on a triangle. Dude, it's hard just to posture out of it, okay? And you'll hear these jiu-jitsu coaches going, oh, triangles, it's so easy, just posture out of it. It's like, yeah, good luck with that with Gordon Ryan. These guys spend years of their life breaking posture. And so just putting your hands on their stomach and posturing up to the ceiling and looking up at the ceiling isn't gonna work at that level. The reason why I like the thumb post method is because it works well even when your opponent is doing everything right. Okay, so this is something you can work on someone who's got a really good triangle and has the kind of body type which perfectly suits triangles. Heavy body with long, strong legs. The reason why this is the case is because it works best when your head is being pulled down. Okay, that's so important that I'm going to say this again. The thumb post escape works best when your head is being pulled downwards. Now, what do you think all of your opponents do the minute they lock on a trap triangle? They're all pulling your head downwards. They know you want to posture up, so they're pulling down on your head and they're squeezing in with their knees to their chest, and your head's getting pulled downwards. And that's exactly when this move works best. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate it solo first class here because there's kind of a movement associated with it. Okay, so I have an imaginary opponent working from guard position. He locks me in a trap triangle. Okay, in jiu-jitsu beginner class, you've all been told this 1,000 times. Okay, posture up, reach back, bring your elbow across. These are all good methods up to a certain level. Okay, but this guy's freaking 6'4" and very, very good at breaking your posture forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to acknowledge the fact that I can't bring my head up. He's doing a good job of bringing me forward. So we're going to put hands on him and we're going to bring our knees up off the floor. Now guys, no matter how good he is at bringing your head down, one thing he can't do is stop you bringing your knees up. Okay, so as my head goes down, I'm going to bring my knees up and I'm going to take what looks like a broken posture, because we get taught in Jiu-Jitsu 101, I should be posturing up and looking at the ceiling, right, to get away from a triangle. But we all know that's workable against a certain level of opponent, but you go with someone like Gordon Ryan, it's not going to happen. Okay? So from here, with my head down, I'm going to start looking into my own armpit. Instead of looking up at the ceiling, you're going to look into your own armpit. You're going to take your thumb and you're going to put it into the exposed hamstring of your opponent's trap triangle. So by turning my head into my own armpit, I expose his hamstring. And then from here, I'm going to push, I'm going to shake, and I'm going to rotate. Now, guys, I know that looks weird, guys. I'm sorry. When I go to rotate, you're going to notice that I have a stationary foot and a moving foot, okay? So here I am, my posture's broken. All the jiu-jitsu coaches out there say, oh, that's completely wrong, your posture's broken. No, it's completely right. This is what you should be doing, okay? So here we are, I look inside, I thumb post, this foot moves, this one's stationary. I shake, shake, shake to loosen things up, and then I start moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like so, until my head pops out. So let's have a look at this now with an opponent.
Apologize ahead of time.
So, Placido's in here. He locks up a trap triangle. So now I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh man, I'm supposed to go up in vertical. But Placido's damn good at jiu-jitsu and starts pulling him in with his knees. It's like, oh man, it's not what I wanted. Okay? So his knees are pulling into the chest and your posture's getting broken. Okay? From here, we're going to come up and bring our body, our knees up off the floor. Now, Placido, watch what happens when I turn my chin inwards. Do you see how you don't have such a good purchase on my head anymore?
Yep.
If I posture up, I'm actually giving you a pretty good purchase on my head. When I look in, the purchase is lost. Now, see that? That's an exposed hamstring. I'm going to put my thumb inside the hamstring. I'm going to turn this thumb down, like so. My arms are loose and relaxed. Now, watch my body. I shake, 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 and I look into the hole that I've created. And then I do this. And I come out. Okay? That thumb post got me out of there. So once again, we're learning to take advantage of the fact that a trap triangle has a big circumference versus a figure 4 triangle that has a very narrow circumference. I would not recommend this move on a figure 4 triangle. You can do it on a figure 4 triangle. I've seen it done by my students at the highest levels. But I think there's better things you can do against a full figure 4. This is the move you hit against a good opponent who's got a really good triangle. He's not just some random dude who plays with a triangle every so often. This guy who specializes in triangles. And he does a really good job of whipping you in, bang, and you're like, oh shit. When you go to posture up, he pulls in with the knees, and you're like, oh man, I'm in trouble, okay? I can feel this guy's good. Now, what does he want to do, guys? He wants to go figure 4, right? He needs to bring his knee forward. Good. So what do? We take everything back. Now, I put my hand on this side, so he tries to bring the knee forward. It's tough. I put my knee and elbow together, and I come up off the floor. I turn my thumb down here. Lock tight, buddy. I thumb post right there in the hamstring. I look inside like so that there's less purchase on my head. And I make my whole body round out by shaking. Then I step 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't follow my movement because I'm thumb posting the hamstring. If I didn't thumb post the hamstring, he would follow my movement and follow me, okay? So from here, I thumb post, just like so. He goes to follow me, and we're out, okay? Now, the more alert among you will start to see that there's another element I can bring in here. This is a knee wedge, where I wedge my knee into Placido's hip. Over here, Placido. Watch my right knee. As I come up, my knee wedges here, and I turn my knee in. He goes to switch. He can't switch to an armbar because I'm palm down. If I was here, it'd be a problem. So I wedge, I thumb post. Try to hold me in, buddy.
Yes, sir.
I shake, look inside, and we're out. Okay? We're in a guard position. We get caught. I try to posture up. He's not having it. Knee and elbow. Up to the feet. Palm down. here, knee wedging, thumb posting, looking inside, looking into my own armpit. Hold tight, try to pull down on my head, and we're out. Okay? This thumb post is, in my opinion, the most successful move against a trap triangle. I have more faith in this based on my own experience and the experience of my students than any other method of getting out of the trap triangle. Now, not only is it a really good way of busting out of a trap triangle, it's a really good way of counterattacking his legs. Okay, I get caught. Trap triangle, palm down, knee up, blocking with the knee, looking inside. We slip out. As Placido goes to recover, catch. Okay, we're in the perfect position now to surround his legs. Boom, lock, foot goes over the top. What do you think Placido wants to do? Center chest, he goes to turn out. Very difficult. Locking, and we're in position. If I feel I don't want to fall backwards, you can fall forwards into the legs. Blocking, he goes to pull me in, goes to pull my head down, do all those things that people do. We thumb post. If I feel him trying to go back to guard, boom, we just sit right into our training partner's legs. We can go conventional. We can go all the way around. He goes to spin out. Not so easy. I see him turning. No reason why we can't switch off. No reason why we can't put our head down to the floor between his feet. He goes to spin out a second time. Whoops, he'll break his own leg. He's able to beat me before I can go belly down. We'll come down to an inside shoulder. Double shoelaces on his hip, and we're ready to break. In this way, you can use the thumb post to not only get out of your opponent's trap triangle before it becomes a really dangerous figure four triangle, but turn it into counter offense and go in and attack his legs. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself, okay, trap triangle makes total sense. And I can see how the thumb post will work really well against that. But dude, there's this kid in my gym who's really fast at transitioning from trap triangle. He's flexible, he's long, and man, it's like quarter of a second. And he just bounces right into, from trap triangle all the way up to figure four. Someone like Nicky Ryan is just so quick at that transition. And he just gets me all the time. And I just feel, once he locks that figure of four, oh man, I get finished every time. What do you do now? What's our late defense to the triangle? Well, there's a bunch of late defenses. My favorite one, the one which I believe is the most successful for both myself and my students in sparring in the gym, is always to use the crossed ankle defense. Okay, let's have a look at it right now. Okay, so Placido does a really good job of putting me into a trap triangle, and he also does a really good job of taking my elbow to the center line, and as a result, he can start to make a good transition into a figure four triangle. So just lock your legs in a figure four. Okay, so I feel like, oh man, you can hear my voice changing, guys. Relax, buddy. You can hear my voice changing as Placido puts more and more pressure. As the pressure increases, listen to my voice. You can hear it changing, and there's the pressure of the triangle. Okay, so what should I be trying to do here? Okay, I'm going to take my two legs and I'm going to bring them across his chest. Now, there's a right way to do this and there's a wrong way. I want to bring the leg across the chest on the side of my trapped arm. If I bring the wrong leg across his chest, it turns into an armbar. Okay? Not only is it an armbar, it's a really screwed up armbar because I'm sitting on my ass. I can't even hit a turning escape because I'm on my ass. I can't do any of the normal defenses that we looked at earlier in this video because I'm sitting on my ass here. Okay, you're in a broken posture. So this is just a disaster. What I want to do, as I feel to make this transition, is bring my knee up on the side here of the trapped arm. I want to take my second leg and sit down like so that I can unweight this leg and make it weightless. I look at my opponent's body. If I see his left arm is forming an obstacle so that when I try to step over, it's becoming an obstacle, I take the inside position at the armpit. Now from here, I cast my foot right across and I catch it and hold it. So it forms a nice reinforced wedge. When he tries to take my foot off, my hand holds it in place long enough that I can lock my feet. The second my feet lock, I put down pressure, hold tight. I put down pressure and I put my hand on my own knee. If my elbow is on the center line, his triangle feels really tight. It's not enough to strangle me, but it's hard for me to get out. So I put my hand here, make it triangle tight. Now it becomes a down force. My second hand works its way up and I get my ear past his knee. If I can't see his knee, lock tight, it's hard for me to break out. I want to be able to see his knee with my eyes. Now I come up to it, I put my hands in, and I bring this elbow over his knee. I don't want the his knee behind my elbow. Tight. I want everything behind. Now from here, we just expand our chest and look up. The second we break the grip, he tries to come up, my legs prevent it. I swim to the inside position. I hold outside position, inside position, and as a result, my knee goes right through the middle. Okay? We lock up a quick inside Senkaku, but not with a cross ashi, with a straight ashi. Now I look at my opponent's reaction. If he's experienced, he's going to turn his knee this way. If he's an idiot, he's going to turn his knee out here and expose his heel to our break. Let's look at the idiot first. Sorry, pass it in. He goes to turn out, just like so, okay? We make a switch into reverse figure 4. Belly down, it's quite hard to finish here. With reverse figure 4, plus make your point your toes, do all those things that people do to defend.
Yeah.
And then from here, it's an immediate tap. Here, it's really hard. He points the toes, you'll slip the heel, okay? So we lock reverse figure 4. He goes to do all those things. And it's done, okay? So pretty soon, your opponent's going to wise up. So what they're going to do is they're going to point the knee this way so that you can't hit the outside heel hook. When you see that, just switch it across the body. Now you've got cross ashi inside Senkaku. What do you think Placido is going to want to do? He's going to want to rotate this way. I'm sure you've all guessed what happens. Take the foot, you take it center chest. Placido goes to turn out. Puts a limit on how far he turns. Now we've got a bunch of options. I could go sit up inside Senkaku. I could take my feet to the outside. He goes to spin out, put my head in the center, and roll through into backside 50-50 options. From situations like this, he goes to rotate out, come back. When my feet are in like so, he goes to rotate out. I can take my foot and place it here underneath my training partner's hamstring. So when he goes into a rotation, it slows the rotation down. Makes it very easy for us to follow and lock through. Now we switch into double 50. Don't worry, I'll be covering double 50 a lot later on in this video series. It's the most controlling of all the 50-50 type backside situations. Normally, backside 50-50, there's some danger of him backstepping out and exposing my elbow, my head, etc.
Sorry, John.
When I come in here, double 50, he tries to backstep, almost impossible, okay? The only way he can do it is to dislodge my foot. And that takes so damn long that by the time he's done it, the ankle snap, okay? So double 50 is a very, very controlling position, arguably the strongest of all the 50-50 backside finishes. As I said, we'll be spending a lot of time looking at all the variations of Ashigarami, especially when we go through the guard position later on in this video series. But right now, our primary focus is on getting out of position. So please trust me when I say I'll show a lot of material on leg locking in the offensive capacity when we get into guard offense later on. Right now we're focused on defense, busting out of a tight triangle. Let's have a look at this again. So Placido is a good man. He goes in, snatches from guard position, a trap triangle, quickly converts. Figure 4. I make sure I put knee and elbow together, like so. I don't let it come in center chest. I don't turn in this direction, put the wrong leg up and let him convert into Judigatami. I want to go the opposite direction of his Judigatami conversion. So I come up, knee goes in. Now I knee slide, just like so. I don't want Placido to curl his body up and come up on top of me. This would be an embarrassing disaster. So it's important that once we come up here in knee slide, we quickly get that foot across and hold it in place. You can also hold it in place with opposite hand. If you do this, make sure you hold low on the foot. If you hold high on the foot, you can end up toe holding yourself. So hold low on the foot. And from here, pass your feet over and lock them. Now, I take my elbow behind. I take my head, I look at his knee. When I can see it, he tries to hold on tight, tries to dislodge my feet. It's not easy. We separate them. Outside, inside. From here, inside Senkaku, like so. I've got an inside Senkaku, but it's a straight ashi. If he's a moron, he goes to turn away from me. Ankle 1, reverse figure 4-2, break. Tap. If he's smart and he denies me the heel exposure, I expose on the second side. He's smart. If he's smart enough to do that, he's smart enough to do this. Now he wants to deny me heel exposure on the opposite side. So we have to fight for heel exposure. We get the foot center chest. You could, at a certain level, just sit up and expose. If I feel he's beyond that level, we'll lock in here. Double shoelaces right there on his hip. I want to put my head on the floor between his feet. As we roll on through, look how we switch, double 50, hook in. He goes to back step out, good luck. Okay, it's going to be a tough thing to get away from. You got a very strong break here. If you have an opponent who's very determined, goes to take the foot and still manages to back step anyway, and from here, follow all the way over. One great option from this position is the inside-outside ashi, or crisscross ashi as we call it. And from here, tap again, very strong attacks. Okay? So, there is a highly effective method of getting out even quite late in the triangle cycle when there's a full figure 4 on. What I love about this method is it doesn't require you to get perfect posture. Okay? I coach everywhere, and so often, Placido, I hear coaches screaming at their students, dude, you're in a triangle, just posture up, like it's the easiest thing in the world to do, okay? When you're in a figure 4 triangle, posturing up on someone who's good, I mean, man, good luck with it, bro. It's if Gordon Ryan has me in a position like this, I'm not going to posture up, relax me. I'm not going to just posture up out of a position like this, okay? What I love about this method of working is it doesn't require perfect posture, okay? One potential problem is he grabs my head early. And when I come through, his arms are kind of in my way and I can't get my foot over the top, okay? When you see this kind of thing going on, you got to have the presence of mind to take your elbow to your own knee. See, he locks tight. I'm going to thumb post and bring the hands across. I can't do this if I just put my hand here. I got to get my elbow outside so I can thumb post across and get my foot center. Okay? From situations like this, either overhand or underhand grip. Now lock. Now I can get posture. It's realistic. Okay? Looking at the knee, going through, one outside, one inside. Inside Senkaku. If he's an idiot, he'll expose his own heel. If he's smart, he'll hide the heel. So I expose it on the other side. If he's really smart, now he'll hide the heel on the opposite side. So I need to take it back to center chest. From here, I look at his skill level, okay? If I assess it, it's something I can just set up and lock, I'll take that. If I feel he's beyond that level, we'll lock double shoelaces here on the other side. My feet are safe. He goes to peel away from me. It's a slow move. It's not easy to peel out of this. From here, we come up, we put our head between his knees and roll through and lock. I take my foot, step over the top, and find myself in double 50. As my opponent goes to back step out, pretty damn difficult. You got a strong break here. If he's so physically tough that he lets his leg break, goes to move free, we switch. I come over onto my inside shoulder, double shoelaces in place.
Tap.
From here, we've got a very strong breaking finish. So there you have it. A realistic way of getting out. And not just getting out and counterattacking against a tough opponent that doesn't require you to do what is so difficult against someone who's got any skills with a triangle whatsoever, which is to posture up, okay? If, as I said, if the guy's not that good at triangles, yeah, sure, posture up. But at World Championship level, good luck with that one, okay? Try to focus on the moves that don't require you to have perfect posture because it's so hard to attain against World Championship level submission artists. These methods, the thumb post and the crossed ankle method, enable us to work with imperfect posture and not only get out of the move, but also get right into our counterattacks. Just as we did with Juji Gatame, any triangle exposes your opponent's legs. Think about it. Every triangle involves the use of both of his legs extended. So as the triangle fails, you've got two extended legs. Okay, anytime Juji Gatame or a triangle fail, you've always got the opportunity for leg attacks. It's just right there in front of you. You've got to learn to take advantage of it. Okay, every time you see this guy going to peel out of here, it's just a great time for us to go through, turning, breaking, and finishing. Okay.